What if you meet a guy, right, and he does all these things right in your book, but he feels like jealous or intimidated the fact that your job comes first and that you won't give him enough attention that he wants. Let's say he wants like every second of the day or like wants you to check in and do all this stuff, but you're so busy. You can't have like a full conversation texting him or you can't see him every day. Why do you feel like a man would be intimidated by that?
One, any man that I'm inviting into my world
Right.
would be definitely understanding of my work schedule.
Okay.
Two, you make time for what you want. So no matter how busy of the busiest, Nicki Minaj found time to lay on her back and have a baby.
No, 1,000%, and I agree.
She
She's like a
found time to
Mongol.
fall in love. She found time to get married. She finds time to make home cooked meals for her husband.
Yeah, of course. I agree.
So it's BS. You make time, you make excuses as well. At the end of the day, no man wants you self-consumed with him. No real, like I'm talking about real men.
Right.
I'm not talking about
Toxic men.
I'm not talking about mommy issue
Unhealed.
men. I'm not talking about toxic men. I'm not talking about for somebody that's looking for somebody to babysit their
Right.
feelings. I'm talking about a man who wants to be in a relationship with a woman who is a team player, who's going to help him grow in areas that she see fit. Like when men say, "What do you bring to the table?" You bring whatever.
You wouldn't get offended by that question?
No. Because you got to bring something to the table. Right. It's like coming to a fucking baby shower or a birthday party or a Thanksgiving dinner and you didn't bring a dish. You have to bring something. Now, it depends on what that particular engagement.
Okay, let's say you bring something to the table.
It depends what that engagement and that occasion calls for.
Right.
So when people say, what do you bring to the table? Whatever that table needs.
Right.
So if I'm sitting at a table that has 4 legs, but one leg is a little shaky, what I'm going to go do, I'm either going to go get Gorilla Glue and try to fix it so it's not shaky anymore, or I'm just going to go buy a whole new table. But see, when women go buy a whole new table, that's the table we're going to eat on forever.
Right.
We have made a lifetime investment when we bring something to the table. Men, unfortunately, they have a different makeup than us. So when they bring things to the table, they can care less if it's for long term or not.
So let's say you find
because they feel like they can buy 7 tables.
Okay, let's say you find the perfect man, right? And he's everything you want. He embodies this whole entire spirit. And in the midst of nowhere, he's just like, this is not enough for me. Or like, you are, whatever you're bringing to the table is not enough for me. I want you to equal me. But he's the perfect man that you want. But in a way, something that's being kind of like forced and kind of like up for debate is the fact that you are not what he wants you to bring to the table. But he's an amazing man. He just doesn't see your efforts as equal as his should be.
Then he's not the man for me.
Okay.
If he doesn't see my highest attributes, he's definitely not the man for me. Because why would you want to be with somebody that doesn't see you in your highest best self?
But what if that man, you look at him.
I'm coachable.
Okay.
So if he is the man of my dreams and the man that I want, I always tell ladies, be coachable. You think you're going to get in a relationship with your so-called dream guy and be everything he wants off of rip? No, that's like absurd to think that. It's going to maybe take you a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, maybe 6 years to learn how to be the perfect woman for this man. It just goes back to the man that these women are trying to attract. They have no clue how to keep him. Forget the rich man. Forget saying, I know how to keep a rich man. Like, do you know how to keep a man?
Mm-hmm. Like a real man, 1,000%. But
let alone, most people, and I'm gonna tell you the facts. Most women who can't keep men in their life, they can't keep friendships either.
Yeah.
They can't keep girlfriends. They constantly have arguments with family members and falling outs. Because why? They don't know how to. They don't understand what it is to put in the work to or
and
compromise.
People at that time are not telling them about themselves. Like a lot of people like go on with life and they don't know their toxic traits. They don't know about what they're doing is wrong because no one is.
A man is not going to correct you unless he sees time and worth in you.
Yeah,
he's not going to correct you. I'm going to tell you, I've dated plenty of men that I've done plenty of things that they probably didn't like, and they just dump. I've never been dumb, but the relationship ended.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? And then I have recent relationships where I fuck up and he's going to sit me down and tell me everything I did wrong.
So what if you get with a guy, like I said, and he's like, whatever, you guys are 1,000% on each other's like level and like he's elevating you, he's coaching you, he's doing all this stuff, but you're not like the feeling, like the butterflies, or you're not sexually really good with him, there's something that's wrong spiritually and physically that's not for you.
I want to know about the spiritually and physically part. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it goes back to what is your type? You have a type, but are you willing to be unhappy with your type? So here you are, you have a man who's pouring into you, loving on you, supporting you.
But it doesn't sit right with you.
Making your dream. What part doesn't sit right? No, you need to go do some soul searching. It's not him. We play the blame game as women and be like, because he's not 100% my type. So let me pack up and go over here and get 30% over here. Women will take the 30%. You
I feel
understand?
like that goes back to the same thing you were saying, that sometimes women feel that a
settle.
company of a man is more important to themselves. Like
Quality over quantity.
1,000%.
You rather take 30% than take from this man who's willing to give you 100%. He's willing to give you 90%
People
of
don't
him.
understand change or how to be uncomfortable or how to like think outside of what they know. That's why you see a lot of girls who've been with guys for like 8, 5, 6 years violate them, dog them, and stuff like that. But it's all they know. Especially
No, fuck that. It's not all they know. They know fucking better. The dog.
But they won't do better. They
No.
won't do better.
No, they won't do better because it takes too much work.
Change. It's uncomfortable for a lot of people.
It's them settling in the fact of saying he's the problem. He's the problem. It can't be me. He's the problem.
But is he really the problem if
Yes.
you're allowing yourself for you to be treated this way?
No, you're the problem.
Yeah.
And it
You
doesn't
are
matter.
enduring this.
It doesn't matter if you leave him and you go get with somebody else that you think is better. You're still gonna have the same outcome because you haven't done the self work on yourself. See, a part of keeping a man is doing self work on yourself.
1,000%.
So the girl I was when I was dating Tommy, and Tommy could sit here. I'm just making up a name, and he could sit here today and tell you why we broke up. It would probably be because I was a nag. It probably be because I was on his back 24/7. It probably would be because I wasn't understanding. I always thought I was right. I wasn't coachable. I wasn't willing to open up my mind and be optimistic to different ways to be in a relationship because I'm allowing everything else around me to blur my vision instead of focusing on what is the best for me.
Can a female really know who she is if she's never not been in a relationship? Because what I find
Absolutely.
what I find very, very common within females that are always in relationships is that their amorphism until what their man was and who they are. Because if you have no silence, if you have no alone time, if you don't have like a break, how do you know who you generally are? All you know is your surroundings and your environment. You take the best pieces or what you see fit in the man and you continue on in life. I always said this, if you can't have alone time, if you can't be alone and really be so comfortable in your stillness and be quiet within yourself, who are you?
But I'm talking from a relationship woman. There is no alone time.
I disagree.
There's no listen when you.
I love
I'm
my
not
solitude.
I'm in position and gearing up for this,
Do
right?
it. Go ahead.
And the only alone time is when you go to the gym, when you take a vacation with your girls.
That's codependency.
No, it's you. Yo, this is why y'all are single because you don't understand. Once you're in a relationship, you are no longer independent.
Well, why would I want to be in a relationship with somebody when I don't know myself?
No, you shouldn't be.
How can you figure out what's your thoughts and what's going on if you're not comfortable with your solitude?
You shouldn't be in a relationship.
All problems are interpersonal relationship problems.
You shouldn't be in a relationship. You shouldn't date. You shouldn't be seeking anything from anyone until you have found yourself.
But how are you going to find yourself if you have no me time or no alone time?
What do you mean? You got a lot of alone time. You're freaking single.
But me personally, I know who I am.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about a single woman. You have more than enough time to go find yourself.
Okay, but what about women that are always in relationships?
That is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
That is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You have plenty of time to be by yourself. But what I am talking about is when you do decide to get in that healthy relationship, I want you to understand. I want you ladies to understand there is no more independent.
So what
you have what's the word I want to use? You still keep your independency.
Right.
Meaning in the sense of you do your girl trips, your man doesn't have to come everywhere you go. That is the only independency that you should be thinking of, that your man doesn't have to go everywhere you go. So that is your alone time. Your autonomy. Other than that, when you were asked a married man, what alone time do you need from
Okay,
me?
married is different from being in a relationship with somebody. Those are two different lives,
Yeah,
definitely for
but
sure.
what I'm
But if
but
you
I'm this
feel
is
like if you're in a relationship with somebody, let's just say hypothetically, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but hypothetically, you're in a relationship with somebody for years, whatever time you see fit, maybe 3, maybe 5, maybe even 6, right? And let's just say it was amazing until the end, because there's no such thing as happy endings unless it's not an ending. So let's just say it didn't end well. You wouldn't think that you need like a couple months, if not a year, to process those feelings.
maybe not.
Mm.
Maybe
I feel like that's a definite within me.
all of this I need to heal from the relationship, right? It's BS, right?
How are you gonna heal
How
from?
about
How are you gonna
maybe I
deal with
don't need
trauma
it.
if you're not healing?
Maybe I don't need to heal. Maybe me being in that 4-year relationship with that guy was so traumatizing that when it ended, that was my breath of fresh air. That was my moment of realization. That was my moment of truth of saying, yo, I'm never gonna play myself like that ever again.
Right.
So if I walk into love on Friday, let's just say we are finally wrapped and done by Monday. I'm not talking about he's still lingering, y'all still humping, he still has the
But one could
insertion in your
say
life. Let me finish what I'm saying. What I'm talking about is y'all are completely done, right? And now let's just say you say, you know what, I need some time by myself. I'm gonna take a trip to Bali.
okay.
And you run into this man into the airport, and you're so shut off because of this last relationship, right? That you missed your blessing of this man who's ready to take on whatever baggage you coming with and say, listen, I just got over some fucked up shit with it. Let's talk about it. You find out that you guys have so much in common about your past toxic relationships that you guys are ready to love on each other properly. You missed that.
Okay,
Because
well, me talking like straight out of ego and just like reality. I just feel like that your attachment style would be avoid and dismiss.